Yeah, you. Like, no.
Oh.
Yeah. Never heard that before then?
No, I haven't. That is like new news.
Yes, I mean, animals are tortured from birth till death and slaughtered with impunity. So
I'm going to read a quote to you. It's a sort of comparison of two things. Then I'm going to pause. I want us to both pause. We're going to take a deep breath, and then you're going to tell me sort of emotionally what you're feeling, and then we're going to talk about whether or not we think it's a good quote, it's a good comparison, whatever. But we're going to pause first. So there's going to be an emotional pause we'll have, at which point you can say, I'm getting the out of here. I don't want to talk about this.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
In relation to animals, all people are Nazis. For the animals, it is an eternal Treblinka.
So what just to make sure, clarify. So what the quote is saying basically, like, so animals are essentially like the Jewish people in the concentration camps, and we. Okay, yeah, wow.
Yeah. Do you want to take a big deep breath with me?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me how you're feeling hearing that quote.
It makes me kind of ponder, like, if they really, like, feel, which they probably do, but, yeah, it's interesting, because I've heard people say it before, but, like, not in a way relating to, like, Nazis or something like that.
Yeah, wow. I feel empathy, sympathy, like, a lot of emotions, actually, from that.
I don't know, it kind of makes me feel a little guilty, even though, like, I know I'm not personally. Well, I mean, I guess I am.
I don't know. I feel fine about it. I mean, like, it's partly true, because I guess there's, like, a lot of animal slaughter, but, like, I don't know completely true.
I kind of feel like that's a thought I've never really thought about, but really when you think about slaughterhouses and like the treatment of animals and just how they've, you know, we use them for food, for fuel, in a sense that is kind of correct.
I was shocked to hear, I mean, it's always shocking to hear Nazis being compared, anybody being compared to a Nazi. I don't like that. As a person who is part Jewish, it's triggering. And also, as a, you know, just as a woman, as a person of color, the idea of hearing about the suffering of other living things is it's hard. It's uncomfortable.
I agree.
I'm fine. I'm not,
You're right? Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
triggered.
So you're feeling fine emotionally hearing that quote?
Yeah, I have no problem with the quote, or yeah.
Well, first I had to process it, but I mean, I can see some reasoning behind it. We see animals, like we see them as chaotic, but we sometimes can't see it within ourselves, which you said not an analysis, but that's, you know, that's what I thought of.
How accurate of a comparison do you think that is? Just sort of scale of 1 to 10.
6?
6? Okay.
I'd say like a 5 or a 6, because it is true, like, we farm them and like make them like fatter to get more meat from them, but I think it's just like a little bit insensitive to compare it to like the Holocaust. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. 10 being the best, 1 being the
6.
worst. A 6?
Yeah.
6. Okay.
6.
Valid, I'll lean towards a 6 or 7.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna go with a solid 7 actually. Yeah, because I definitely can see the resemblance. I never really thought about it that way. So like thinking about like animal rainforest, deforestation, it's really helpful. Yeah.
I think it's from 1 to 10, probably a good 8.
Cool. So like, what I guess would be the first things that you would say are like major differences to you?
No, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not smart enough for this. I can't think about that.
Why don't we first kind of talk about some things that you think are different about it?
I mean, like first thing that comes to mind, obviously, one's a human being, one's an animal, and like they're both sentient beings, but it gets kind of hard to put them on the same level, you know, for me personally. Similarities though, they are both sentient beings on that same part. It's a double-edged sword. Like,
Well, for us, it's like, we kind of gain something from it. Like we gain food and like pleasure, I suppose. And there are like ways to do it like safely and that aren't super terrible and stuff. But yeah, that's it.
So I guess let's first imagine this. Imagine if the Nazis had killed the Jews and then eaten them afterwards. Do you think that would make that a significantly better event?
No, I wouldn't think so. I think it would make it worse. So I definitely see all the similarities. I agree with that. Last finals in December. They all are true.
I do disagree. I don't necessarily think that we are Nazis to concentration camps for animals, because there's a reason behind it. We are killing them for food. And
let me ask you this. You kind of like alluded to necessity. So like we have to eat, right?
Yeah.
Do we have to eat animals?
We don't now. There are some things like bacon, for example. They haven't really figured out bacon yet. So yes and no. We do. There are some we still need to eat, but
Can I tell you about the process that is used to make bacon?
I think I've seen some documentaries on Netflix, but please do, just for the sake of it.
Sure. So pigs, we do a lot of things to them that are standard practice. So this doesn't really matter if this is, a decent farm or not, right? So there's some things that just happen regardless. So oftentimes they are castrated with no painkillers.
No.
They have their teeth cut out and they have their tails cut off. And do you know why they have their teeth and tails cut off?
I do not. That's kind of weird. I mean, maybe teeth to not bite people, but I don't know about the tail.
It's actually to bite each other. So because we cram them in, they sort of go like insane in these camps, and they will bite off each other's tails. And so we take their teeth and the tails away because the condition is so bad that they essentially,
and I would compare that to like a concentration camp. That should not happen at all. No.
Do you know how many animals are slaughtered every year?
I don't know that number now.
Go ahead and give me a guess.
5 million?
10 million.
So that's the most common guesses I usually get are somewhere between like 3 and 10 million. And when I guess, I think I maybe guessed 10 million. And so this isn't insulting to you, but we're both horribly off. Like so far off, it's unbelievable.
Like way more than that?
Yeah, it's like 77 billion.
No kidding.
Yeah, so most estimates have between 50 and 100 billion. The entire number of humans that have ever lived, not right now, but ever, is around 100 billion. And we slaughter that many animals in a year or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that amount. I was expecting it to be a bit lower.
But now I do think we have, like, for example, I am a meat eater. My boyfriend is a vegetarian. And Beyond Meat, for example, which is all completely 100% plant-based, it tastes almost the exact same. Like, I really can't tell a difference anymore. And I actually now prefer it because it's actually really good. And I don't feel as gross afterwards. So we actually don't really need to be killing animals anymore. Actually, animals deserve to also live like a great, happy life and not be treated like horribly just because they're considered less than, which they really aren't. We're all equal, in my opinion.
Yeah. But even if they were, right, let's say that we just accept the premise that humans are superior, right?
Sure.
That like we have more power, we're smarter. Like I'm also more powerful and smarter than a dog. I'm also more powerful and smarter than a baby, right? Does that justify just me being more powerful and smarter,
No, because that's an abuse of power. That is like, oh, I have all the power here, ha ha ha. Yeah. Can we cuss on your YouTube? F you. No, it should not be. They don't deserve to be treated any inhumane way at all.
So maybe what I want to do is I'll sort of give you a bunch of similarities, and you kind of stop me if you either think it's not a similarity or like, oh, I've never heard that before. So, okay, in both instances, we're taking individuals and treating them as objects. In both instances, we're taking individuals and imprisoning them on a farm or a camp. In both instances, those individuals suffer on that camp or farm. In both instances, we kill those individuals at the end of the process. In both instances, we brand or mutilate those individuals. And in both instances, we put those individuals into gas chambers to kill them.
Is there really like gas chambers with like, really?
That's the one that surprises everyone.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So, you've never heard that before then?
No, I haven't. That is like new news.
So with the gas chambers.
Yeah, is that one new to you?
Yeah, that was new. Could you further elaborate on that?
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I didn't know about animal gas chambers.
Chickens and pigs are both killed in gas chambers. There's different methods that are used, but somewhere between 80 to 90% of pigs in like industrialized nations are killed via gas chamber. So this quote comes from a man named Isaac Bashevis Singer. So he was a Holocaust survivor, and he also happens to be a Nobel Prize winning author. So
Wow.
He actually was an early proponent of gay marriage and women's rights as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So pretty chill guy, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so that's like one thing. I like to sort of contextualize the quote because kind of as you said in the beginning, it can feel insensitive. It feels like everyone now is saying Nazis for like every comparison. I think that knowing who said it in this case kind of contextualizes it in a different way. Yeah. You seem like pretty empathetic. You seem like you know at least a little bit about this. Would you mind, if you held this, would you mind if I showed you a video really quickly?
Oh boy, yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay, hold this real quick.
All right. If I stop liking bacon after this, I'm never going to forgive you.
And you can totally say no to this. It's fine. Would you be willing to watch like a short 30-second clip, just kind of about what we talked about, how animals are treated when we kill them?
I'm fine with that.
Awesome. Would you be willing to watch a quick 30-second video of kind of what we talked about how they are treated?
That's fine.
Okay. So do you want to hold that for me? You can be my audio person.
Let's
You're officially
go.
on the payroll.
A system of rotating cages lowers the fully conscious pigs 2 or 3 at a time into the heavily concentrated gas, which begins to burn their eyes, nostrils, sinuses, throat, and lungs while suffocating them.
So again, these are like standard practices. This isn't like a particularly like malevolent slaughterhouse
Big
worker.
avatars, and touted as the most the first few days, are mutilated without pain relief. Their tails and teeth cut to rotating
Would the
cages
gas
lowers the
chamber
fully
be
conscious pigs 2
easier
or 3 at
way
a time into the
out?
heavily concentrated gas.
You watch the video and
begins
tell me
to
what you
burn
think.
their
Oh,
eyes,
so it's gonna be no.
nostrils, while suffocating them.
I won't make you watch too much more.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate your time
no
too.
problem.
So yeah, is that what you envisioned it to be? Worse, better?
Yeah, I imagine it to be like that. I mean, I know a lot of shady practices. Well, not necessarily shady. That may be, regulation, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much. I know a lot's going on behind the scenes. Yeah.
Did you envision it like that? Did you know anything about that?
Not really, no. And it kind of makes me think, like, that one really resembles you say, but what about the ones that are? Because I have no doubt in my head that there are twisted people who would get genuinely important about that. It's going to tell me journalism, yeah.
Is that surprising to you? Did you think that's what it would look like?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've learned some stuff about this. I mean, it's sad to watch, but I feel like you get that general idea of kind of what goes on.
So, before we said we had a rating about how good of an analogy you thought that was. So I'm going to ask you again. You can keep the same number. You can change your mind. You can go up or down. How good of an analogy do you think that is sort of after our conversation?
Now, seeing that footage, I would definitely put it more probably at an 8. I think I think definitely I did not realize gas chambers were a thing, and and it is still kind of a superiority complex, maybe in a different way, but still it's still.
I think my answer's definitely going to go up. I'm going to stick with the 9 just because it's hard for me to play things animals on the same level, especially in the context of who said that quote. And that has a lot of weight to it as well.
I'd say it's like an 8 or a 9 now.
Okay.
Yeah, because now you've walked me through, I do see all the similarities.
Okay. Awesome.
I'll give it a 6.5, but I still think it's quite different.
No.
But it sucks, and I mean, I'm every day I kind of kick myself a little bit about it. It's true. I do think about it a lot more.
Okay, change it to an 8.
Change it to an 8?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
It's realistic, but it doesn't count for every animal.
Probably a 9. Just because the only reason it's really happening is because it's animals and humans, If it was humans, there'd be a huge outrage. But just because it's animals, we think they're subservient. But that's the only reason why it's not a 10, just because they're animals. And so people don't care as much. They just want to consume, People eating meat over there, but they don't know what's going on, But yeah.
I think the essential thing that this speaker is getting at with the analogy is largely true in modern society. In global capitalist society, yes, I mean, animals are tortured from birth till death and slaughtered with impunity. So
let me ask you one more thing kind of for the YouTubes. At any point, whenever we were talking about the analogy, did you feel like I was being anti-Semitic or I was trying to devalue Jewish individuals' lives or anything like that?
No, you're just bringing up an issue. That's all. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Did you feel like there was something anti-Semitic going on, or I was attempting to devalue Jewish people or anything like that? Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm gonna get that in the comments. You get that. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot. That was great. Great interview. Yeah. Awesome. Have a good one.
You too. What's the name of your channel again?
It's called Debug Your Brain.
Debug Your Brain.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I'll have to give your channel a look.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Also, we both agree that the Holocaust was an absolutely terrible event in history.
Yes.
One of the worst, right?
Yes.
So someone comes in the comments and is
the Holocaust is bad.
Okay.
You can quote me on that.
Did you feel during this interview like I was being anti-Semitic or like I was trying to devalue the lives of Jews?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
You were really respectful with everything, and you asked, you're you can leave at any time. And these questions, I feel like those are standard questions for your thing.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Good interview. Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Hope this helps.
Yeah, definitely will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, thanks for talking.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Great talk, man.
Sweet. Of
Yeah.
course.
Take it easy.
Absolutely. You too.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Good talk.
I hope you have had some interesting conversations.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Yeah, I'll definitely check out that website. Say Challenge 22.
Challenge 22.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Awesome, man.
Sound good. I appreciate you discussing this with me.
Yeah. Cool, man. Good interview. So if you enjoyed this video and want to help me make this my full-time career, check out my Patreon in the description. And a special shout out to my top tier patrons, Ryan O'Neill and Tom Eisenbeis.